What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for another episode of my series, Ranked. Today I'm going to be talking about All Time Low and ranking their studio albums from worst to best. And as with any list, ranking or counting down, it's all going to be my personal opinion. Everybody's opinionated, so let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. They've drifted from their pop punk days to more of a pop friendly sound, but they started off very punk rock. To see where all they've gone all over their career, we're gonna take a deep dive and look at every single album. And I'll give you reasons as to why I'm either loving or hating or why I'm placing something at a certain spot on this list. So I do hope you enjoy it. Let me know other bands that you would like to see me do this with in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video, and if you're able to, please support me on Patreon. These videos are a lot of work, especially the Ranked series, and YouTube just isn't paying its content creators right now. It's very hard sometimes for me to get ads on my videos, or else they don't show up until the videos have been up for several days, which means I don't really make much money making these videos, especially the ones that are very hard to make. It's kind of disheartening, so if you're able to, please support me. It's the top link in the description down below. We're well on our way to $700 a month, closing in on $1,000 a month, so thank you to everybody who has supported already. Without further ado, let's kick off this list.
Her closet's such a mess, filled up with all the skeletons she's kept. Nobody's perfect, I confess, but she's perfect enough without ever dressing up yet.
Change is a natural thing as bands age. It's a necessity to show how you've grown as a band, and it's always cool to see someone pull off a cool transition into new styles of music while also staying true to themselves. Sadly, this album is pretty much the polar opposite of this. It's almost one of those records that puts your relationship with the band on the rocks, stepping haphazardly into the unknown with no real direction other than, hey, let's make some poppier music here, leading the way for Last Young Renegade. After making the unfortunate switch to Fueled by Ramen as their record label, the band coincidentally started releasing some of their most bland and lifeless material to date. And while by no means awful, it's just mainly a compilation of boring songs that really lack any personality. There were far too many hands controlling the behind-the-scenes counterparts of these songs, which I do feel affected the overall outcome of the album. Multiple producers, extra songwriters, and musicians, it just feels like a step away from the all-time low that we know for a reason. It took the band out of their element in all the wrong ways. That being said, the title track is still a reminder of what they're capable of. Pop-leaning pop punk and rock that can soar with a catchy hook. If only they'd played more to that side and less to the electronics and programming, maybe we'd have a different album on our hands. Oh well, you live, you learn, you let go. This one's just not for me or for those who really like the more pop-punk side of All Time Low. There's experimenting, and then there's kind of overstepping boundaries. There's a reason that this one fell off the Billboard 200 albums chart after just 1 week. The rough quality of this album is endearing to an extent, but it doesn't hold up quite like the others whenever it comes to the lyrical content. For the longest time, I thought the Put Up or Shut Up EP was the band's first release, but sometime after Nothing Personal came out, I started noticing a different album cover popping up whenever I'd watch All Time Low videos on YouTube. I ended up listening to the album, but felt mainly indifferent to it other than a few standouts like Noel and the early version of Running from Lions, which most people seem to prefer. This is one of the most punk-leaning projects they've ever put out in the world, although there's plenty of big pop and rock hooks on some of the highlights. This was a low-budgeted record and their only release for Emerald Moon, but it's worth noting that they had a few extras like strings and the production that made it sound a bit more well-rounded, especially for a smaller record and a smaller band at the time. If you've ever seen my personal top 10 all-time low songs video, you know that one of the only singles, The Girl's a Straight-Up Hustler, nearly topped the list, bringing all of the nostalgic feelings with that huge sing-along chorus and that instantly recognizable opening guitar riff. It's really a stellar song that floored me the first time I ever truly gave it a chance years ago, really showing the potential of the band. If you can write a song like that, or more importantly a hook like that, you're going places.
You've got me popping champagne, I'm at it again. Caught up in the moment, but not in the right way. I'm falling in between, tearing
This may surprise some of you, but their breakthrough success, So Wrong It's Right, just is not a favorite of mine. At all. Are there definitive and enjoyable all-time low songs on it? Absolutely. But does it feel a bit too dated to enjoy at least parts of it? Yeah, sadly it kinda does. I totally get why many of you love this record, I really do. It's fueled by lust, fun, the fleeting high of youth, and most importantly, not by ramen. Lyrically, the record is a bit razor thin in places though, with some of the songs like Hollywood You Turn Me On and Come One, Come All feeling a bit silly in that department, especially as you grow up and look back on them. Let It Roll still kicks with the spirit of youth, Vegas will make you sing along and think of all the good times, and Dear Maria Count Me In is the hit for a reason. It's the best song on this album, and it really helped the dudes become superstars. Although this might not be the magical ride that some of their later albums would prove to be, it still has its moments and is of course worth exploring. I was never of the mindset of hating Dirty Work like so many were. It was just like something we didn't talk about. I thought more along the lines of, this was a misfire that happened because they signed to a major label. Let's take that, learn from it, and move on. In all fairness, I think that's still an acceptable criticism of the LP, but you know what? I may have turned a corner on my feelings towards Dirty Work. Before we get to that though, let's talk about what went into this project. Interscope signed the band after they saw the success that Nothing Personal had on the small label Hopeless Records, but they quickly underwent staff changes that affected the band's release date for the album. I actually saw the band live for the first time on the Dirty Work tour, which took place in March of 2011, the intended release month for the album. But that album didn't actually drop until June of that year, which was very frustrating for the group, becoming one of the main reasons that the band looks back at this record not so fondly. Despite heavy promotion backed by one of the heavyweight record labels, Dirty Work underperformed and only sold about 43,000 copies week one. Anyways, rabbit hole rant aside, Dirty Work really started to grow on me as I revisited it in recent years. It might have taken the mixed bag of inconsistency Last Young Renegade to appreciate it, but hey, better late than never, right? Guts is a confident step forward for the band, Do You Want Me Dead is one of the catchiest songs they've ever penned, and Under a Paper Moon is one of the best songs that they've ever done, period. It has these story-styled lyrics that are very sharp and insightful, managing to stay super catchy with its guitar and drums while driving the song's story and motion at all times. What I'm getting at? You don't have to sleep on this one any longer. Don't hate it without a reason. Try it again and see what sticks for you. You see, there is a difference between mixing poppier elements and going full-on pop. Future Hearts is where all the chemicals align and make something unique, something that can be appreciated more with repeated listens. I'll admit that John Feldman glossifies the production a bit too much at times, but it only truly gets out of hand on the annoying Bail Me Out and the somewhat awful Edge of Tonight, which just really stands out from the pack like Too Much did on Nothing Personal. It's like your annoying drunk friend that shouts random things in public at 2 a.m. I would speculate that some of Alex's best songwriting happens here, and the band plays like a tight-knit group of friends expanding their relationship through different styles and genres while not straying too far from who they are as a band. Some of the songs that definitely make this album what it is are the fervent Don't You Go, the poetic Cinderblock Garden, which kinda has a mysterious and magical feel to it, and the well-equipped, intelligent closer Old Scars Future Hearts. Savory cuts flow all throughout though. It's got heavier and more up-tempo cuts like Dancing with a Wolf and the energetic Kids in the Dark, while also offering you moments such as Tidal Waves with Mark Hoppus, with much more of a somber tone. It is one of the band's best because of the maturity that they show, the lack of growing pains overall as they tried out new sounds, and of course, the music. It's got some good stuff, guys, and you definitely should check it out if you haven't heard the full album. The pop-punk scene wasn't exactly thriving in 2009, but All Time Low made sure that the 2 cents that they threw in was revitalizing and worthwhile for the genre. Not only is Nothing Personal fun as hell, it's a roller coaster ride of emotions, from the lust of walls to the emotional breakdown therapy that's the saddest song that this band has ever recorded. Juvenile in a sense, but being completely aware of that is what makes this a pure joy to listen to time and time again, battling their way through these relationships, booze-filled nights, nights out on the town, and the price that they pay for all of those things. We see All Time Low at their shimmering pop-punk best. Party song Walk of Shame captures the charisma and songwriting charms that make the band stand out from the pack. Stella intelligently sings about a brand of liquor while made out to look like a relationship song about a girl, and Hello Brooklyn flexes their talent for hooks. Oh, hooks you say? This album is overflowing with golden ones, and even the weakest link Too Much standing out in that regard. Rock out, have fun, remember the fun times. That's what this album's here for. Let it be known that my ranking for this record at number 1 is solely based on the standard edition of the album, not Don't Panic It's Longer Now. So, we finally made it, the top of the list, the cream of the crop, the all-time high? Don't Panic is a work of art, a comeback, and a fierce collection of songs that have both heart and talent oozing from each and every one. The punk side of the band fires up once again, shaking off the outside co-writers and the major label adding dirty work, and returning with this masterpiece just over a year later. Alex's vocals sound more urgent than ever, commanding every single song, backed by the ever-talented band with rollicking guitar licks, pumping bass, and punk rock style drumming. It's hard to pinpoint specific songs whenever I reflect on what made this album so great, especially since I cannot downplay the significance of really any of the moments here. It's the gusto and romance of For Baltimore, the keen eye of Paint You Wings, the drum presence of So Long Soldier, the bitterness of Lifesaver. It's everything working together to make Don't Panic. When you look for an album that's going to be played for years to come, make sure to put this on your list, as it feels as important and fresh as when it released 5 years ago. Kudos All Time Low, your best album, at least for me. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that today. Don't take anything I say too personal, it's all just my opinion, so like I said at the start of the video, please let me know yours tastefully and respectfully in the comment section down below. How would you rank the albums, from best to worst or from worst to best? Let me know, sound off down there, and of course leave suggestions for future episodes of Ranked. Help me out with a like on the video, and if you're able to support on Patreon, it's that annotation over there in the corner. You can click right there, it'll take you over to my Patreon page. If you would like to see all of my all-time low themed videos, click right here for that convenient playlist, or click right here for my review of their most recent album, Last Young Renegade. Socials are linked in the description, and I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.